I'll start the camera. And basically, usually I'd give you the introduction right now, so I'm going to give you the ad hoc version so they don't have the paper.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm Trenton Adams. Thank you for taking the time out of your campaign to come and do this interview. The format is we're going to ask you a number of questions, can offer no prompting to whether or not, or answer any questions you may have about the question. So it's your answers. And if it's all right for you to do the video, we're going to show it on social media.
I have no problem with that.
John, if you would introduce yourself around the table, and then
I'm John Longshore.
John.
I'm Larry Mrozinski.
Larry.
Harry Abrams.
Harry.
What is the current state of the county?
The current state of the county. There are some issues that need to be corrected, I believe, in administration and the way things are done. Licensing, there's some taxation issues and my transportation issues. Overall, the state of the county is, I think it's pretty good.
Do you know the mission statement for the Cherokee County Board of Commissioners?
No, I don't off the top of my head because I haven't really studied that, honestly. It's really not, it's not going to help me do the job of a commissioner. There's a lot of things that need to be done more than memorizing statements, and so I'm sorry.
What is your plan to create jobs in Cherokee County?
Thanks you for asking that one. That one I like. That's a good question. Cherokee County, we have, I can't even count them, vacant strip malls. We make businesses hard to do here because we have so many regulations. We choke people down. Cherokee County needs to be opening up business here so we can employ people, because all the empty places, new business coming in, we need to encourage the growth, and that's how we get growth and we get jobs in here, because the county doesn't create jobs. The county makes job growth available through new business and business development.
and along those lines, what can further be done by the Cherokee County Commission to spur economic development?
Inviting new companies in here. Again, over the years, I've seen times, I know we lost a couple of big ones here because we, for some reason, didn't seem to want the development here. I think development with smart growth is the right way to do it, because if you have the infrastructure built in place, you can have roads, you can have trucks, you can have transportation, you can have jobs and have new buildings being built. I think there's a lot of room for growth in Cherokee County in that aspect. Like I said, we have so many empty places that are just sitting there just stagnant, but we make it difficult for people to go in there and want to make, start a business.
What is the Commission's role in information infrastructure such as internet and communications?
The Commissioner's role, I think it needs to be a whole lot more than it is right now. I think people in the county need to know what exactly is going on. I think we need to have town halls for people. I think there needs to be communication with the public of what, if there's an event going on, we need to do it. Lake Allatoona, there's all sorts of stuff that happens at Lake Allatoona all the time. Nobody ever knows what's going on. I have never known much going on in the county because there's nothing put out to tell anybody. So I think the communications, we have the technology to do it, and there's plenty of people. So it's time to, it's time to let the public, it's really about we the people. And if we don't know what's going on, that's part of the reason I'm doing this, is because I'm coming from the other side now, and I want to be able to have people communicate with us. I've always been able to communicate and try to get things done.
Do you support a T-Splost initiative?
A T-Splost initiative, okay, if it's like the transportation one that I helped lead a statewide organization to stop, no, I don't. But a T-Splost, if everybody in the county, when they have a ballot goes up in a referendum, if everybody wants a new park and everybody votes a new park in, why would I be opposed to that? Because they're going to pay for it. It's not just coming out of a general fund. So if somebody wants to vote something in because they want it, again, I won't say it's a want kind of thing, and if everybody agrees on it and they think we need to have new parks and they're all willing to pay for it, then I think that's the right thing to do.
What items in the county budget need the most scrutiny?
Right now, one of them, I believe, is the county attorney. The county attorney is an open box right now, and every time that we need someone, we used to have a staff attorney, and we don't have a staff attorney anymore. We have an organization that works for 3 other counties that I know of and 1 other city, and what they do is every time the phone gets picked up, the dollars start flowing. And that is one of the issues that needs to get addressed, I think, right away. There's no reason that we couldn't have a staff attorney back it again in there like we used to and have our own, keep it in-house. Why not do that? That's one. That's a big one, though.
Which leads into the next question of, would you consider having an in-house legal counsel in an attempt to control legal expenses?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Cherokee County's organizational chart? Which departments reporting to the Board of Commissioners are you best prepared to work with?
I'm best prepared to work with all of them because I think that's what the role of a commissioner is. You can't selectively pick out which ones you want to work with and don't want to work with. I know zoning and planning is one that is one of the big ones because they have their regular meetings when the commissioners have their meetings, and that's when they go through the plans of what's going to happen in the county. The land use plan is up now, and that has to be done. It's every 10 years, and it's up now. There's a lot of stuff that's really antiquated. What happened 10 years ago doesn't work now, and there's ways we need to change it.
$426.46 is the per capita long-term debt that the county says it has control over. However, the county makes no attempt to break this down into what actually constitutes this debt. Do you believe in itemizing such figures to truly define what the individual issues are?
Yes. Why shouldn't we? That's transparency. That's breaking it down so we all know. That's the whole thing with actually government in general, and it goes top down, and we have to push bottom up to do this. And if it's not open and transparent at the bottom of how we spend and how things are allocated, and everybody knows what it is without having it a big mystery where you have to go, you have to try to get a freedom of information request to go find something to understand what it says. It shouldn't be difficult like that. It really shouldn't. It's we the people. It's for us.
Are you in favor of public co-signing for private company operations?
No.
What is your position on term limits?
Well, actually, if it was for a commissioner's race, for example, you are term limited every 4 years. And if you aren't doing your job, you should get voted out. I've pushed for that on lots of other occasions, and it's hard to make people understand that we already have term limits in place. And we should stand by them. If somebody's not doing their job, don't keep putting them back in. Get rid of them.
What is the current state of the Ball Ground Recycling Center? Question 2, what steps have been taken to prevent similar occurrences in the future? And question 3, what other steps would you propose?
Well, number one, as far as I know, the ball ground recycling is up and running at, I would say, probably a diminished capacity from what it originally was intended to be, because it couldn't get it back. You can't get back what was lost. Second part of it is, I don't know what the commissioners have done, because I'm not privy to those kind of things right there. I really don't know. And the third part, would you please repeat the third one?
What other steps would you propose?
To correct the ball ground recycling, well, it's kind of hard to fix something that's already been out of the gate and it's done. It is what it is right now. I think in the future, it is a marvelous example for us to never go down that road again in the future. Things need to be scrutinized from the beginning, and public involvement needs to be done and listened to. And that was one of the things I think that never happen in this.
In Reed versus Town of Gilbert, the Supreme Court held that signage could not be regulated based on content. This led to a change in the signage ordinance of Cherokee County. Do you agree with how the new ordinance currently stands? Please explain.
No, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the way it was done. I agree the zoning and planning made the decisions, but they neglected the fact that you could have anywhere between 25 and 30 different candidates running at one time, and we limited the number of signs So, who did you exclude at that point? You've taken somebody out of it, so you've actually taken away our First Amendment right.
Are there any boards, committees, or authorities reporting to the Board of Commissioners that could be eliminated or combined?
Without actually looking at the books and seeing the complete organizational structure of it, because again, I haven't dug into this purposely because I haven't needed to do that. I would say there probably is some things in there. I mean, we have roads and bridges, and we don't have a road maintenance, which is something you could pull off and make a crew out of it. So we may move one to fix another one, but to actually eliminate some at the moment, I really couldn't tell you that without looking at it.
Will your personal and professional life allow you to dedicate the time required to fulfill your duties to the Board of Commissioners and ultimately the residents of your district?
Yes, completely.
The board submitted through the legislators a request that was disconcerting to a number of voters. Would you be in favor of requiring such submissions to the legislators be done prior to the legislative session so that voters could have input and not during the legislative session?
I think I know the piece of legislation you're referring to, which was about the marshals. And I think things like that people should know about it, and there was a lot of public input in that. I was actually at the meeting where that was brought up to the commissioners at the Chamber of Commerce meeting with the delegation. So I was there, and there was some people, even some of the legislators were taken back by it because they didn't know about it till that day. So I believe there has to be, again, there's a process that this all has to be done with, and I think the more open transparency and telling people and getting people involved in what's going on early on is to put out a public notice, put it out. What do you think about that? We want to do this and see what it is. Because again, it's we the people. It's not it's we the fiefdom who sit here and control everything.
For solutions to the traffic and other infrastructure issues, do you support the regional approach such as the Atlanta Regional Commission or another method of dealing with these issues?
No. The Atlanta Regional Commission is been set up originally, and what it is it really comes down from the state and what they're going to do. It's not local. This needs to be local. This is Cherokee County, and we need to take our own issues. I think we've addressed several of them, but how they're funded and, whether it's federal funding or state funding, that is to be seen at the minute. Hopefully it's state funding that, we've all agreed to pay on because we need the infrastructure fixed.
Are you currently a member of the Cherokee County Republican Party?
Yes.
And we would like our elected Republican leaders to help us grow the party. Please briefly describe any significant efforts you have made in the past to support the Republican Party and or Republican candidates locally, statewide, or nationally.
Gee, I have to go back to my resume to remember all of them, but I was on the executive board in Cherokee County, Republican Party. I was on the 11th District for 3 years, and the state committee for 3 years. And I had to retire because that was in the bylaws. And the 11th District bylaws say, and I think it's 2.07D, something like that, that you have to, if you become an elected or a declared candidate, you have to get out. And I had to resign to do that. But I've been involved in the party, very hard for the last, 4 years on a, upper level.
Have you or has any organization or business under your control ever declared a bankruptcy or been sued or currently facing liens or other financial issues?
No.
Have you ever been arrested or convicted of a crime excluding traffic offenses?
No.
And have you ever been the subject of professional discipline, cited for breach of ethics or unprofessional conduct by any disciplinary committee, court, administrative agency, or other professional group?
No.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to say to the people watching the interview?
No, I really, this is very important to me. This is home. I've been here for almost 23 years. It's actually 23 years this year. This is home. I have 2 grandsons. I have, between my wife and myself, we have 4 children, and I love it here. This is where I want to spend the rest of my life. and I want to be able to serve the people in Cherokee County. I've worked on different levels of capacity, and I've worked at the federal level, I've worked at the state level, I've worked at the county level, I've worked all sorts of stuff, but it's time to do it from home. This is home, and I think I can make a difference here, and I'm very, very determined to do it, and I'm very tenacious. I don't give up easily, so that's one good attribute.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.